Let me guess, you want to change the chain case oil yourself on your Polaris snowmobile. Well, good news, brother. They made it easy on this RMK 900 and hooked us up with the fill tube, a shot glass to check the oil there, or even kind enough to throw a drain plug for the chain case under the bike right here. So just sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. I'd like to welcome you if you're new to the channel. I'm Danny with Escape Powersports, and today we'll be doing a basic maintenance and repair video series for your Polaris two-stroke snowmobile. In this video, we'll be showing the step-by-step procedure on how to change the chain case oil on your RMK 900. I'm expecting this to be a pretty quick and easy one beer job, or in this case, 1 can of Mountain Dew. Let's get started. So Polaris recommends we check our chain case oil every 150 miles and change it out for the first time at 500 miles, then every 1,000 miles after that. But it wouldn't hurt to give that shot glass a quick glance before every ride. And feel free to pause the video here to see the tools, parts, and beers required to get this job done. We'll get started with the sled on a level surface and locate our fill plug, shot glass or dipstick, and drain plug. Now the exact component setup and location might be slightly different for other brands and models, so please comment below how this procedure works for your machine or with your year, make, and model if you'd like some help to come up with a game plan for this job on your sled. We'll talk more about alternative ways to drain the fluid later on, but let's get this oil change started by grabbing our flathead screwdriver and removing the fill plug. And if it ain't one to come out of there with a screwdriver, I found a 21mm socket will also fit this plug. And I like to remove the fill plug before draining the oil because it'll help the oil drain better, and more importantly, if the fill plug is stripped or stuck in there, I won't drain all my precious lubricating juice without a way to get it back in there. So I couldn't find a drain bucket around here shallow enough to fit under the sled and get any decent footage, so we'll just make one real quick with an extra $2 Walmart bucket that was laying in the yard. First, I really couldn't find the drain plug. I thought we might have to take some of this riveted plastic off, but really fortunate that it is just hiding back here. And usually I like to clean out the head of Allen plugs with a pick, but I couldn't get my fat head under the sled enough to see it was already cleaned out. So this drain plug was actually kind of tricky, as a 6mm Allen wrench seemed to be too small, but then when I grabbed a 7mm, it was too big to fit. But fortunately I ended up getting it knocked loose without stripping it with that 6mm. But comment below when you do your change, especially if you have a 6.5mm Allen wrench, as I suspect that might fit perfect. And on a side note, I much prefer these Allen sockets that attach to a ratchet for drain bolts over a normal Allen wrench because they're only a couple bucks at the hardware store, and I feel way less likely to strip the drain plugs when using the Allen socket. But if your sled doesn't have a drain plug or is stripped and stuck in there, there's two decent options to get this oil out. First option would be to remove anything preventing access to the side of the chain case, like side panels and or the exhaust, and actually open the chain case cover itself to drain the oil by loosening the bolts on the side and the bottom. That would seem kind of sketchy to me, so if I had to do it, I would probably try and suck out as much of the oil as I could through the fill tube with a cheap siphon. And I didn't grab the other camera in time to show how the oil looks like the shiny silver color as it drains from all the gear and chain shavings. But Polaris says it's completely normal for a chain case, and it's an indication that the oil is used, and we're doing a good thing by replacing it. Speaking of metal shavings, that drain plug we just pulled out is actually a small magnet that collects some of the worn metal, so it's not a bad idea to clean it up before we reinstall. And again, if a drain plug came out of the bottom of a motor looking like this, I'd probably be seriously worried about it. But apparently, for chain cases on snowmobiles, it's completely normal. Polaris also suggests we replace the rubber O-ring on the drain plug after we clean it, but this one looks alright. And I'm a cheap ass, so I'll just reuse it. I also should have cleaned the sealing surface around the drain plug before reinstalling it, but it wasn't terribly dirty and I forgot. It'll be fine. So Polaris says this drain plug only needs 6 to 10 foot-pounds of torque. So I was careful to not make my life more difficult than it had to be by over-tightening and stripping this drain plug into the chain case forever. I just went a hair tighter than snug. With our drain plug reinstalled, it's time to find a funnel and add our oil. But not your favorite big funnel that's too big for the hole, or the new small one you just got that you couldn't wait to use because it'll just spill the oil out. We'll need one like this that's just right. And I went with Polaris' recommended SCL full synthetic chain case lubricant, part number 2873105, because this $15 1-quart bottle will do 2, almost 3 changes, since we'll only be adding 11 ounces or 325 milliliters. Polaris also mentions we don't want the chain case overfilled and the oil level should be halfway up that shot glass for a good reading. Now annoyingly, there's no exact way to tell how much you've added from the outside of Polaris' bottle. So I just commandeered this measuring cup from the kitchen to measure out the prescribed 325 milliliters. I ain't much for cooking anyway. And this 325 milliliters should bring the oil level visible in the shot glass up to the halfway mark we're going for. The Polaris book was pretty specific about not overfilling these, so that's what we're going for there.
Middle of the shot glass.
So the fill plug is also a magnet that'll need to be wiped off before we reinstall it, and I guess I'll fork over the couple bucks for its O-ring as it's pretty much destroyed. Hell, it never hurts to take her out for a quickie to make sure she likes all that fresh lube and doesn't have any new leaks we'll find later in the backcountry. So I hope you found this chain case, oil change video helpful, and if you did, do me a quick favor and give the video a thumbs up so I'll know I'm on the right track here. So one of my goals is to make these videos as thorough and as concise as possible, but I'm fairly new to snowmobiling, so if I missed anything or if you have any thoughts or suggestions on how I can improve these videos, or really any comments on this topic in general, please leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear from you. And be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the rest of the maintenance and repair videos coming out in this series. I'm Danny with Escape Powersports. I really want to thank you all for watching, and until next time, we'll see you all on the trails.